So here the steps. First step in transformative lesson plan is think about what teacher wants the student to do. That is the central question and objectives. Next step is think about how the teacher will assess the ability of the students and what the teacher want them to be able to do. So that is the assessment. And coming to the step 3, think about how the teacher would like them to learn to be able to do what the teacher wants them to do. So teacher will not tell what, because the objectives is based on the students interest and context, but teacher will have the way. So the teacher will guide in such a way and make the students to understand what is required. So that is the action, that is the activity. Next one. So very importantly, whenever you do something, think about the assessment first, then only activity. Without assessment, activity cannot be accomplished. So whenever a teacher is going, she should already frame the assessment part. She should always think. So for most of the time what we do, we'll go with activity, then we go with assessment. But in transformative way, we have to always think about the assessment and then only activity, because activity comes based on the reflection and critical thinking. So we should make the students to that assessment is important, because it goes completely along the lesson, and then only activity can come based on the students exploration, experience, investigation, and then they go with the reflection. Next one. So assessment. What is assessment? In traditionally teacher-centered banking method, already we told. In liberative and progressive method, student-centered banking method. So in transformative way, it's authentic one. That is thick description. Already I told what is thick description, where we are trying to include social, cultural, and ecological view also into this. With a deep learning, so deep knowledge, so authentic way of teaching, so contextualized based of teaching. So no need to teach anything unwanted, only relevant. So whatever is required for the life, whatever is needed, that one that we are going to teach. Next one. So here the activity. So coming after the assessment, the activity. What is the activity? Two activities. First one is thick description. So where the students should be helped to shape the thoughts. They will be able to understand what is social justice, what is eco justice, what is multiculturalism. Very importantly, we should not go with the ecocentric view, because most of the time what happens, Eurocentric view. Generation from our side, and we should have that from our own perspective. In such cases, multiculturalistic view is very important, especially for nursing. I think you all know very well, because nowadays nurses are moving from one, because most of the time from India they are going to many other countries. So this is very important for the nurses. That's why we should never stick on to the curriculum that is only going to target us with our own country. It has to be a multi-faceted one. Next is very importantly community involvement. Without community, so here also I think I can give the example of that Ethiopia only. So I think Dr. Ramesh sir and Dr. Komati madam also can, and they can tell, because most of the time community there we have a very separately, we used to have a community involvement, where like here we are going for that, there we have to go with the community projects. So we have to involve in community, do many projects, to try to go with the many kind of most of the time the students will take up the projects like building the toilet, sometimes building something whatever is required, and try to understand what is happening to the community, trying to explore, try to reflect, and try to come with a solution. And this will make them to talk with the stakeholders, and this is going to completely go with the government planning. So whatever students are going to do, it is not going to be only in the papers or something, and only in the from the mouth. It is going to completely create a total change of the nation. Next. So that is what is transformation. So you can see this is a thick description. So from the superficial learning, we are going to deep learning. That's very important, because in superficial learning, the mainstream message is given, sometimes null message, no message. Very important. When you give them the tension, when you may give some kind of challenging situation, students will go for the critical thinking, that will go for the problem solving. They'll create something, they'll come with some innovation. So innovation is very important only if you're going to go with the deep learning. So the complexity will be there. It should not be binary packaged information. It should be complex one, where the children will try to select. They will try to select. So when sometimes that girl children are taught to learn cooking. So most of the time what happens, these girl children, mostly what happens, when they learn to cooking, they'll go for the purchase. They know how to select, so these kind of things should not be It should not be a fixed one. It has to be only a kind of support, and only a guidance has to be given, and which will that